Long days, repeated rejection, but positive persistence.
This is the reality of canvassing for presidential campaigns in the first-in-the-nation primary state.
Nice to meet you. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks.
I am originally from Los Angeles, California, and I graduated from UCLA in June.
Meet Noah Mayer, a staff field organizer for the Joe Biden campaign in New Hampshire.
Well, New Hampshire, I'm not 100% sure. I was going to go to law school, and then I was like, you know what? I need to go work for Joe Biden. I need to go do something to help our country, and so the only campaign I applied to was Joe Biden, and I got an interview in New Hampshire, and I got a second interview in New Hampshire, and then I got a job out here. So I think I moved on like 6 days' notice and started working.
And Albert So, an unpaid volunteer for the Bernie Sanders campaign here.
Yeah, my name is Albert, and I'm here with the Bernie Sanders campaign. Do you have a second to talk about the Democratic primary?
No, I don't have the time right now, but thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We spent a Saturday afternoon with them as they knocked on doors in the state capital of Concord.
To better understand why they keep going in an oftentimes grueling job.
Hi there. I was hoping to speak with Mary today.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You're not interested?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Have a good one. So what we're going to be doing today, like I said, is we're going to be out talking to voters and knocking on doors. I feel like this is what people think of when they think of political stuff. But what I have here is called literature. And this has a couple policy points. It has like the main overall message of our campaign. And then it has a nice, beautiful picture of Joe Biden, the one and only. So what we do is we make sure we hand that to every single person we talk to. And we also leave that on the doors of the people we talk to. The other thing I have here is called a commit to vote card. This is what we collect when we find someone on the doors that's a supporter. And we have them collect this, and then we send it back to them about 3 days before the election. And then I have my list, and it has my map, and it has all the names and the addresses of the people we're going to be talking to today. So I go on to my computer program, and I click the area I want to work in, and a bunch of doors come up, and then I'm able to use a software tool to kind of like cut. We call it cutting turf, cut a little area, and then I can print it out, and it has a map and all the names.
Well, you're generally assigned to a district or ward and a certain section of that. And you'd be given like a set number of houses on a given street. On a good day, you have a series of good conversations with people about policies.
Has 5 family members you're going to bring to the next event. That kind of thing is really helpful for us to know, so make sure you add it into notes.
New Hampshire voters, a lot of them respond very well to face-to-face communication, as well as having just a voice to listen to, just speaking to them on a one-to-one level. And that's the core of what the campaign is trying to do. Just reach out to voters personally in terms of how each one of these policies, each one of these planks of the platform actually speak to their day-to-day problems.
With the 2020 primary set to break a record for campaign spending in the state, a whopping estimated $150 million, those on the ground know how high the stakes are.
Noah told me that he's gotten better since first starting in the job back in July.
So at first I was like a little skittish about coming up, but you just kind of go.
And as for Albert, the highs and lows are worth it.
The aspect of like speaking to somebody who's so ideologically opposed to you that they're just like, get out. So that's tough. On the flip side, you have people who are absolutely with you. There's this feeling of community that gets built up with those people who identify strongly with what you yourself believe in.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.